sun is kicking out here. Today is Thursday, March. What is today? Thursday, March 17th. It's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. So, we've been back from our last trip. So we went to Fred Gannon State Park. That was Sunday. I guess like it'll be 2 weeks ago this weekend. So we brought the camper back. Got it parked out here, and we have not hooked the power up since we've been back. There's no hookups. It's just been sitting in the sun, and it gets a lot of sun. So I had a little issue with the solar. I wasn't sure what was going on. I never quite figured the solar out until this week. I contacted Go Power because it kept telling me, the battery monitor kept saying that I had battery bank number 2. Well, we only have one battery bank, and it's battery bank number 1. You can see right here, right now we got 359 amp hours. We're at 90%. It's inverting. So I contacted Go Power and talked to them. They had me do some voltage tests on the MPPT controller, the solar controller. And when I sent them the information, so the solar controller is working, the remote is working inside, but their app was kind of goofy. Their app was saying that we were on battery bank number 2. It was giving us some bad numbers, so I just deleted the app. I'm going with what we have here. So the batteries are 90% right now. And yesterday I decided to turn the 110 refrigerator on out here. We're taking off tomorrow afternoon, going camping again. So I plugged, well, this was already plugged in, but I turned it on. So this little refrigerator is cold. I mean, it's really cold right now. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. There's nothing in it. But we wanted to see overnight, running the inverter with the 110 fridge plugged in. That's about really the only thing that's on. So when I woke up this morning, it was at 88%, and now it's at 90%. So it's been running the refrigerator all day with nothing but the sun, and we got more battery than we did when I went to work this morning. So feeling pretty good about that. The solar is a little confusing. I'm going to do another video because you have your MPPT solar controller, which will handle 2 battery banks. We only have 1 battery bank. We have 4 batteries. The batteries are Battleborn batteries. So you've got to get the paperwork for the MPPT 30 solar controller to understand that. Then you've got paperwork for the remote, which is on the wall inside here next to the controller. So here's the MPPT solar remote. This is called a GP, which is Go Power RVCR. So this is the remote for the solar controller. The solar controller is up here. It's kind of dark in there, but it's called a 30 MPPT. So it's inside here. We only have 1 battery bank. That's why there's 1 light up there. There's 1 battery. The green light that's flashing, that means that the battery is charging right now. So the solar is charging the batteries. So what we found out is that this controller, the data that's on here, is good data. It's kind of hard to see. You really need a flashlight in this unit to be able to see it. I don't know if we can see it or here or not. But this data is good. There we go. I think we can see that now. So the solar input is 20.0 volts, 3.2 amps. Battery 1 bank is at 13.6 volts. and there's 4.6 amps of draw on it. So that's a good thing. And right now the battery is charging in float. So when I contacted Battleborn, they have the parameters for what these settings have to be at, because the Battleborn battery is what you're charging. So I had to get in touch with Battleborn, found out all their parameters, and this thing gets really confusing when you start scrolling through all the settings on here. It was a little overwhelming, but little by little got it figured out. So I contacted GoPower and found out that their app that goes on your phone, that data is not so good. This remote works good. The solar controller is working good. And then we have, so Battleborn will tell you what the batteries need to be charging at, all those settings. And then you have the Combi Master, which is a whole nother ball game. But it's a smart inverter, 3000 watt. So there's another manual for that. So little by little we're getting it figured out, but everything's working as it should right now. So what I found out is once you do have the settings correct and your battery is 100%, you can press this little up arrow button right here. You hold it for 3 seconds and that'll set this back to 100%. So what the bad part was happening was, even though I wasn't 100%, we would reset it to 100%, but it wasn't a true 100%. Now we know with the voltage, you can look on here and see your voltage of the battery, and that'll tell you when it is actually 100%. So we were able to do that. So right now it tells you that there's 120 volts, 49 watts are being used. So that's between the lights, the automatic lights that come on, the backlight, the inverter, and the refrigerator is all that's being used. So with the 359 amp hours showing right now, you can see the arrows pointing down. It's kind of hard to see, I think, in that sunlight. So the arrows down next to the 359 amp hours means the battery's discharging. 32W over here, so it's discharging. It's using 32 watts. Right now the inverter's running, so that takes power. Plus the little motion sensor lights inside here, and the refrigerator, the 120 volt refrigerator. So over here, 120 volts of power being used, 49 watts, 48 watts. So between the inverter, the lights, and the refrigerator, that's the power being used. And it'll tell you that it is inverting right now. So I think we got it figured out. And the 13 volts, the 2.43 amps, you multiply those numbers and that's where you come up with your watts, is your 30 watts of power being discharged. The arrows down, discharged. So we're at 90%. It's been running solar power only since we got back over 10 days ago. I have not plugged it in because I wanted to find out what was going on with it. So we're thrilled with it. We're going boondocking this weekend, so we're going to be 2 nights, 2 full days, and then a partial day with no power, no water. So we're going to see what we can do. And of course, we're going to take you guys along. Appreciate everybody that's watching. If you would hit the like, subscribe, leave a comment, we really appreciate it. We really want to just help other people that maybe are in the same predicament as us. You know, you get into a camper, nobody explains things to you, you're on your own to figure it out. So we're trying to figure it out, and we want to share all the information that we can with everybody that we can, because it was a bunch of people on YouTube that helped us figure things out and got us to where we are now. And we really do appreciate everybody along the way that has been able to help us, because honestly it's a little overwhelming at times. You know, you got a lot of stuff going on. You got your daily life, plus you got this camper that you want to get in, and you know, you don't know what you don't know, so you figure it out along the way and try and share as much information as you can to help others. So that's what we want to do. There's those solar panels up there absorbing, charging So this thing is filthy. I need to wash it. I'll get on that when I get home from work tomorrow before we take off, and we will take you along. All right.